Ani Bojo. Today we're going to make the hardest thing I find to make. If you look around here, bags I don't have a problem with, gondolet gloves don't have purses don't have a problem with, shakers, chokers, medicine sticks, medicine bags, drums even. We're going to talk about my kryptonite, moccasins. And I'm going to show you how to make a pattern for them. I don't make many moccasins. It takes a long time for me to make a pair some days. So we're going to start out with either putting your foot down here, or what's best is take a pair of shoes that actually fit you and take your insole out and draw around. So you just draw around. Don't have to be exactly perfect. So that would be that. You do one for the other side. Now here's where it gets a little bit challenging. You're going to take your leather, and what you have to do is you're going to have to draw all the way around this. This is not a big piece of paper. I'd recommend legal. So you're going to draw about a couple inches all the way around. And you make your cut. Another piece of paper. I'll just draw the rest of that. Now from this point here to this point here, there has to be 26 holes. "26 of them. And this is one of the rare few times that you'll see me use one of these. So you start at this point, and this would go every centimeter. And you just keep on going around, but you need 26 of them in total. I'll just show you really quickly. This won't be exact. So that would be your 26 holes. Now, from here down, you can put holes if you're going to add a cuff. If you're not going to do a cuff, like a fringed cuff, like this, you just leave it and it'll be itself. You don't need it. But if you're going to put a cuff, you do every centimeter too. That way this is not exact. I'm just showing you how to make the pattern. Just remember, each one of these is 1 centimeter. Then when you do your little piece that goes into your toe area, which is another neat thing to do, is your toe area. You can just draw that, then extend it. Now you know from this point to this point there has to be 26, and this would be every ½ centimeter. So you'd go along and you'd make sure there was 26 of them. So now you'd cut all that out. Oh, to make your cuff, I'll use the back side one of these. This one. Now your cuff, if you want the long fringe ones, you'd make it longer. So you would go ahead like that. Then here there'd be however many holes you put on this length here. You'd count all those and all those, and that's how many holes you'd put across. Now they would have to be identical, and you leave about maybe an inch, and you do another row exact. That way you can fold it over. You can fold it over and sew. Then you can cut your fringe. Fringe in later to add it on. So that is a paper version of what you're going to be doing. I transferred it onto cardboard so you guys would be able to see a little better. So this would be one without. Your foot would be in there. About a ½ inch all the way around. And that would be there. 26 holes, 26 holes. And what we do is you start at that hole. I will switch to leather now. And here's your leather. So this would, you put your 26 holes, then your 26 holes. This is your tongue. And this would be your cuff to go around the outside here. Now I find making moccasins far more difficult than other projects that I do with leather. Here's my rough pattern one that I've glued one on. This is for when you want a cuff. And as you can see, that's how you do that. So you'd start here. I have this one marked. Start right there to that one. You'd start sewing like that. Then you'd crimp. Now it takes a lot of work to learn this crimping. Then you'd crimp and sew and crimp and sew. And eventually it curls up around. Then as for your cuff, that's what I mean with the cuff. So this would fold up, get sewn on, and this would get sewed on the top. This is what I meant by that other thing. Your tools of choice, a pair of leather scissors. I got two types of leather scissors here. These are my favorite, but these ones work just as good. You'll need a punch with a relatively finer hole, not the large ones, unless of course some people use shoelace. I've seen shoelace. I use sinew, so I use the smallest that I can of that, or I use just a sewing punch, which is really really small. So again, we'll just go over it really quick. You need your outline of your foot. Now you can do it with these, it's not a big problem. You just turn it upside down for your left and this way for your right. And you draw around. It doesn't have to be exact dimensions, but for those of you that need exact, we'll have to do this in centimeters. I still use inches every once in a while when I'm talking, but I would say 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters all the way around. Looks like it would work great. Yeah, so 4 centimeters, then you just draw down. So you want 4 centimeters, which is probably 1.5 inches, I think. Yeah, about 1.5 inches all the way around. Then you start sewing. And you pucker and sew and keep on going. So, I hope you found this informative. I will show you how to assemble one eventually. I have a pair that I'm going to assemble sometime in the near future. It's these ones. Now you don't really have to worry about the roughness of the leather. Sometimes you have to work with the leather. The outside of the leather is fine. The inside's a little rough, but that's where your foot goes. So you punch all your holes. It makes it very handy, as if you mark where your holes are at the beginning and end of your 26. So when you start your 26, just put a little slash and slash, and try to get one in the center. It doesn't really necessarily matter, but it's very helpful if you can get one in the center. Then you punch all your holes. I pre-punched these holes. They're not fully out yet, but these ones I'll be sewing in the near future. So you just take your leather, and again you just start just like that, continue on. And that one goes to this one. All this gets puckered up. So I really hope you find this informative and helpful. You can always pause this video to get it paused out better, but basically just another recap, a really quick recap, is you take your foot, drawing a piece of paper, then you'd cut out your foot pattern, then you'd lay it on the leather, and you make sure you're at least 1.5 inches. In this case it'd be 4 centimeters. 4 centimeters all the way around. Don't worry about this instep here. Keep it onto the outer edge and keep it all the way. Keep these edges straight here and only round the top. Then the backs I will show you when I assemble. So have a good one.